Hi, Renèe Hughes here, nationally certified aromatherapist, certified natural health consultant, and your guide to internal peace, mental clarity, and emotional release. So, today, as I mentioned, we're going to talk about reducing the effects of trauma using aromatherapy. Researchers have recently found that trauma can actually change your DNA. This is phenomenal. Not only can it change your DNA, it can be passed on to your children or passed on generations even. The reason for that is because of the change in the DNA itself. It's called epigenetic. I'm going to put that on the screen so you guys can look that up. I found this so interesting when I first learned it, and it kind of makes sense. For years, I've used an illustration to explain imperfection using a pan and a dent that's in a pan and how it's just passed on. So certain characteristics, just like we get them from our parents or our grandparents, also trauma can be passed on. Phenomenal, isn't it? The good news is the same researchers, in fact, in a recent study, it showed that even though it's true that trauma can be passed on through generations, it can also be reversed. It can also be reversed by positive changes and by um, repeated positive changes and a different atmosphere, showing that a healing can take place even if this genetic marker has been passed on. This is really interesting. Think about it for a minute. For how many people, maybe you yourself, have experienced feelings and symptoms as if you had lived a life of abuse and yet you hadn't. This is really eye opening when it comes to dealing with trauma, dealing with our anxiety, depression, and sometimes wondering where in the world does all this come from. And you may have had therapy and they're trying to find this link back to what started it all, and it may not have even been from you. It can really literally be passed on in your genetics. So, what we want to do is to change our environment and our bodies and our minds and make adjustments in what we have inside. Does it mean that we can make ourselves perfect? Absolutely not. But according to the studies, with repeated positive changes, and I've got a link for that research for you down below so you can take a look at that. And that's just one of them. There's several studies out there. But I really like this one because it explained that the effects can also be reversed. And I really, really love that. Well, how do we use aromatherapy to help in the process of correcting a traumatic event or traumatic DNA that's kind of that scar tissue? It's almost like scar tissue within your brain and your body that won't let up, and so it causes you to live with these anxious feelings of it, as if something really bad is going to happen, and you may not have even been the one who experienced the trauma. Very interesting. So the oil that we're going to talk about today is helichrysum. Helichrysum is one of the essential oils that is really phenomenal at healing wounds. This is what I love about helichrysum and about aromatherapy in general. Not only can it help to heal or aid in healing physical wounds. So this is what we often use on bruises and scars, burns. Helichrysum is one of those oils that are really good. It's called a cicatrisant oil. Cicatricant means, and you'll see that up on your screen there, so you can also look that up. Cicatricant oils are skin healing. They actually are skin healing. And so with helichrysum, not only are you getting healing on the skin, but also it creates that same internal healing, especially when used often and on a regular basis and as part of your routine. So I want to talk about how we can make this oil. I'm going to give you a recipe, and I'm going to talk about my process that I use in my coaching practice to help people to peel back these layers and to get to mental clarity and emotional release using aromatherapy. And if you follow me, you know that the method I use is aromatherapy, aroma tapping, and breath work. So we're going to talk about a little bit how all those work together to help when you're dealing with trauma and working towards getting to a healing state. So first, want to give you a little recipe, and you'll see that up on your screen here. And this would be great as a massage oil. What I love about Hello Christmas is because you can use this in a lot of different ways. And you'll see different recipes throughout my channel. But for this one, I want to talk about having a massage blend just because it is so nourishing to the skin. And so this would be great to use as a nighttime moisturizer, maybe about an hour before you're getting ready for bed. It's going to do a couple of things. One, it's going to be soothing to your skin and make it even more luscious and bouncy and beautiful. It's also going to get into your system and help you to relax, especially when you're using it around bedtime, half an hour to an hour before bed. I'd love for you guys to just try to start to unwind. And aromatherapy is really great at using it, at assisting with that. And then the last thing is it's going to create changes so that your body can get in a space of repair. And when we sleep, that is the best time for our bodies to repair. And so it's a really good time to break out this blend and use it as a massage blend. So you can just use it as your massage cream. As long as it's on your skin, it's going to sink in, and that will get it into the bloodstream. You don't have to put it in a specific spot on the body. Here are a couple of spots I like to put it on. The back of the neck, just where the brainstem is a nice place to just massage. But you can also just use it as your hand cream and massage in. You can use it as a face cream. If you use a face cream at night, you can add this to it. You can even add, and you can see there on the screen, 1 to 2 drops of Hello Christmas to your night moisturizer. If you already have a full blend, you can do that. And then here's a blend that you can use just the whole thing in case you don't have a night moisturizer. And this one will be great to help you to aid your mind and body for repair at night. Okay, so what you're going to do is use about a 2-ounce container. This is 2 ounces. And let's use avocado oil as our carrier. You can use jojoba oil as another great carrier for that. You're going to fill that up to about right here. And then you're just going to take your essential oil, and we're going to put 10 drops. I'm not going to actually put this in because I'm not making the blend right now. You're going to put 10 drops of your Hello Christmas. Just watch those drops as they come out. They come out really fast. So you put 10 drops of Hello Christmas. And then let's put 8 drops of lavender. And then 4 drops of frankincense. So that is a really great skin nourishing blend that you can use for your night moisturizer. It's going to be grounding to help you to wind down at night. It's going to help you to start to unload some of the stuff that's in your mind. And it's going to get into your body chemistry to start aiding and peeling back some of the trauma. What we want to do along with that, though, is we want to make sure that we are addressing our situations, our feelings, right? Not necessarily reliving trauma, which can be really damaging, but what we actually want to do is to address how we're feeling. Aroma tapping helps us to do that. So that same night moisturizer that you put on at night, you can do this whole routine. Use it as a cream, and then you can use it as your aroma tapping. So you just still have some of that on your fingers. And then you go through your tap-in points. I'm just going to show you some of the points that we use in our sessions. And you're literally just tapping on those points. And these are meridian points on your body that help your body to release stress. It's great to do this with the essential oil because you're getting double benefit. You're getting the plant chemistry into your bloodstream. It's immediately affecting the amygdala. It's affecting neurotransmitters in your brain and sending some good, positive, happy signals throughout your body. And that's what you want. Doing this repeatedly is going to peel back the layers of those feelings surrounding the trauma. Now, when you're working with a coach, and I highly recommend that you work with a coach, even if you're not working with me, find a tapping coach to work with because this is really, really important portion of the tapping. So you can do this yourself and just kind of talk through your day and things like that. But when we're wanting to unpeel some trauma, we want to have scripts that we use. And your coach can kind of guide you through how to talk about these things so as not to re-injure. And a tapping coach, we have a scope. As an aromatherapist, my scope of practice is not the same as a psychologist or a doctor. So you never want to use this type of coaching to replace going to a psychologist or a psychiatrist. You want to always make sure that if you're doing that, that you're following the procedures that they're giving you. And you even want to talk to them about your coaching, your aromatherapy coaching or your tapping coaching. It's really important to have that be integrative and have your practitioners or your doctors know the other things that you're doing so that everything works together. So this kind of just shows you the tapping points and how relaxing, even just doing that while I talk to you is really, really relaxing. But again, when we're wanting to address certain feelings that we're repetitively dealing with, maybe it's like, man, I'm just down, or maybe this triggers me. I know this triggers me, but I don't know why. This is something that we can do to help to release some of that, to peel back some layers, to get some understanding around those feelings. And the most important thing, to release them. This creates a space so that you can gradually get to the place of release, each step getting better and better, getting clearer and clearer, feeling better, functioning better along the way. So I wanted to share that recipe with you in just this little chat about um, even though these studies have been found that yes, we may have passed on trauma to our children, we may have had it passed on to us, but guess what? We can also reverse some of these effects by self-care. And this is what makes self-care so important, you guys. Oftentimes we think of self-care as getting a massage. It's like an extra, a luxury. But when we look at it around this subject of trauma and dealing with trauma, then we begin to realize it is way more than just a spa treatment. It is a necessity to live the happiest, most fulfilling life that we can. And so I want to invite you to take a look at my full program. You'll see the link here below, or you can go to ReneeHughes.com, which you'll see on the screen as well. And you'll see my full program where I talk about the aromatherapy, the breath work, and essential oils and how they work together to create the changes that you may be looking for. Thanks for your time today, and I'll see you on the next video. You may want to check this one out for your next video. Enjoy.